Happy Wednesday, everybody. I'm KHOU 11 meteorologist Pat Cavlin here on Plus. We've got another hot day in the books. The good news, though, the humidity, it wasn't that bad, which, here in Houston, of course, we have a high standard for humidity. So I think that's the one thing that's keeping this heat wave, or at least the beginning of it, somewhat tolerable. But I do think this heat is going to continue as we get into the end of the week, the weekend, and even next week. Really pretty shot, though, out towards Herman Park this evening. We've got a little bit of a breeze. You can see the camera shaking from time to time. That south wind continuing to push in more warmth, and eventually it will get in more humidity as well. 96, the high temperature today. That was just before 3 o'clock. We woke up at 75. Now, let me explain something to you. The warmer that temperature is, the higher that overnight temperature is, the higher the humidity is, which is a little counterintuitive because, again, it wasn't humid today during the afternoon. What happens is that once the sun comes up, as temperatures start to increase, the atmosphere starts to mix some of that humidity out if the conditions are right. And the conditions were right today. We mixed some of that humidity away from the surface, and the humidity dropped, and it felt not too bad. But once the sun goes down and we get into the overnight, everything kind of settles back near the ground again. Think about when fog forms during the overnight, same principle. And so with that humidity in place, that keeps temperatures pretty warm. Sunset tonight at 8:07. By the way, that high of 96 did break the record. The record for this day was 94. That was set back in 1995. So this is day 2 in a row of record heat. We're going to see more of that as we go through the next few days. Here are some of the other records that we saw across the area. College Station broke a 100-year-old record, making it to 97 today. There's the Bush record at 96, and then 93 was the tied record at Hobby. Galveston only got to 85 today. That was the cool spot, and that was thanks to the sea breeze again. We talked about that last night. Whenever those water temperatures are cooler, you get that push on shore, and that certainly keeps things a little more comfortable down towards the beaches. Numbers right now, 93 for Conroe, 85 in Cleveland, 89 for Sugar Land, 90 Brenham, 91 for Intercontinental, and then 84 down at Angleton. 100 still in San Antonio, 102 for Del Rio, mid to upper 90s and across Central and West Texas. And this is really where the core of the heat will be as we get into the end of the week. So the next few days, we're going to be on the edge of that core of heat, which means some of our western counties will be a little bit warmer maybe than the city. So excessive heat warnings in effect for those areas from Del Rio to San Antonio up towards Austin. For us, no watches, warnings, or advisories for the city, but once you get out towards Grimes and Washington County, we do have that heat advisory in effect. That is actually where we are seeing some slightly higher humidity, and that's where we can see those feels-like temperatures make it to 105, 106, maybe even 107 if the dew points get high enough. So coming up, the record heat continues. That's pretty much the only way to talk about this. It's not going anywhere. Even if the humidity values stay low, the actual air temperatures are still going to be at those record levels as we go through the rest of the week. We're quiet, though. There's nothing on satellite or radar, really. Just a couple high clouds on satellite, but nothing on radar. Things are very quiet. Just a few high clouds coming in. To understand what's going on right now, we actually have to switch over to our water vapor satellite, and that really tells the stories, especially as we put the wind streams on there. And you get the sense of that kind of clockwise flow moving up and over us here in Houston. That's all around this big area of high pressure that is centered over Mexico right now. That high is what is known as a heat dome or a heat ridge. We talk about these a lot during the summer months, which is typically when we get them. So this isn't unusual to see one of these. It is a little unusual, though, that we're getting one so early in the season and that it's so intense. But that's going to be the driver of our hot and dry weather as we go through the rest of the week. So here's how it kind of evolves. And the question is, okay, well, with this heat, are we going to get these big, powerful thunderstorms in the afternoon to feed off that energy? As long as that high is close enough, it's not going to happen. Now, there will be a couple of opportunities for storms to get close to the area. I think our first chance for that might be this Saturday, and then again as we get into next week. But overall, the majority of our rain and storm chances are going to stay pretty far north across North Texas, Central Texas, and then up into the upper and middle Great Plains. Temperatures will stay warm, though. We're expecting the above normal weather to continue temperature-wise from Texas all the way across the south into Florida, going all the way towards May 24th. So pretty much as we get into Memorial Day weekend, temperatures look to stay above normal through the area. Here it is, your 10-day temperature outlook. So mid-90s again for tomorrow and Friday, same into Saturday and Sunday. Monday we may try to drop a little bit to the lower 90s, but I think we stay hot again all the way through the middle of next week. Maybe a little bit of moderation as we get towards the end of next week. But again, our normal high temperature this time of year, 86 degrees. So we are just totally blowing that out of the water, and we're going to stay with this heat for the long term. How does it compare to the records, though? And that's really what I was talking about in the beginning of this. So 96, the forecast for tomorrow, that would break the record again. The record for the day is 94. Same deal for Friday. So that would be 4 days in a row of record heat. Saturday gets a little more iffy. The record for Saturday right now is 96. We're forecasting a high temperature of 95. It's still hot. We're splitting hairs, but just for bookkeeping purposes, it looks like we'll at least have a string of 4 days in a row with record high temperatures. So for the overnight, couple clouds, we stay warm. And again, you're going to feel the humidity the most during the overnight and during the morning hours. As we get into tomorrow, I don't think the humidity is that bad. It'll be muggy, but it won't be oppressive or stifling humidity. It will still be hot though. Again, high temperatures, potentially breaking records in the mid-90s with a lot of sunshine. As we get towards Friday, there's a stationary boundary across North Texas. That is going to try to sag a little farther south. I do think it stays out of the area, but as it comes farther south, it will try to drag in a little more humidity. And so I do think we turn a bit muggier getting into Friday, and that on top of mid-90-degree temperatures means those feels like numbers could be flirting with the triple digits by the end of the week. So here's your future track for temperatures. As we get you into the overnight, we're down to the 70s. Tomorrow, 95 in the city, 95 for Brenham. Could get close to the century mark in a few spots. I do think everyone, though, will stay below 100 degrees just based on what we saw today. And then, of course, the coastal spots, or pretty much anywhere south of 59, 69, anywhere south of the metro, you're going to be a little bit cooler in the low to mid 80s with that sea breeze. So overnight tonight, it's warm. It is very humid. 74 for Jersey Village, 75 for Aldine. We'll do 76 for Pasadena, 77 Baytown, 75 for Alameda. On the wider look, notice the areas that stay the coolest during the afternoon, Galveston, Palacios, Freeport, Brazosport, they're going to be the warmer spots overnight. And that's the same reason why you're cool during the day, is because the water temperatures are upper 70s and low 80s. So yeah, it cools you off in the afternoon, but keeps you warm at night. So 78 tonight for Galveston, near 80 for Palacios, 70 in Columbus, that's not bad. 75 downtown, 77 for League City and Baytown. Tomorrow, it's sunny, it's hot. The humidity, I don't think, is that bad. We're looking at 95 in the heights, same for Edo, 94 for Montrose, 96 for Aldine, 95 for Dyersdale, 93 for Makawa, and then 96 for Copperfield, 95 in Tomball, 95 for Cypress. But on the other side of Harris County, going all the way down towards the south and east, again, once you get close to the influence of the water temperatures, Galveston Bay, we're at 88 in Baytown, 91 for LaPorte, 91 in Alcott. So that's where some of these slightly cooler temperatures will be found. And on the wider side, you can see there's your divide again. So we'll do 96 in the city, 84 Palacios, probably a few degrees warmer than 81 in Galveston, but still much more comfortable than, let's say, places like Conroe, the city, Katy, Brenham, mid to upper 90s for these areas. But again, if the humidity can stay low enough, we're going to be in business. There's your 7-day forecast. So we'll do 96 for tomorrow, 96 for Friday, mid-90s through the weekend. Mix of sun and clouds, I think, every day to mainly sunny skies. I don't think we'll have as much sunshine as we had today, but still beautiful weather. It will be hot, but it won't be dangerously hot. Just make sure that you're staying hydrated, checking on your neighbors, limiting your time outdoors, doing everything that you can that we typically tell you to do once we get to July and August. And the reason why we're telling you that is because if you're someone that works outdoors, that's spending more time in this heat, your body is not used to this quite yet. We hang on to the heat all the way into next week. We may see a shower chance by next Wednesday. I also think we might put a shower chance in either Friday or Saturday, but those chances right now look very low. Bottom line, again, hydration, pre-hydrate. If you're already feeling thirsty, chances are you are already at the point where you are dehydrated. So make sure that you're drinking water the night before and the morning of. The heat is sticking around again all the way through the weekend and into next week. That's a look at your forecast here on KHOU 11+. We'll have another breakdown on the forecast coming up on your KHOU 11 News tonight at 10, along with your headlines. Thanks for watching.